Chris Sewall here, baseball card collector, investor, dealer, in that order. Welcome everyone. Regular rollers time. Let's roll. We'll start off with one sent in by Matthew, who wrote, I came across this Miguel Cabrera lot shortly before the auction was about to end. I almost scrolled past it, but a closer look at the photos showed there to be some decent regular roller value. Bidding started at $30 with 0 bids, and at about an hour before the auction was about to end, I used Gixon to place a bid significantly above the initial bid level and ended up winning it for $31 with free shipping. I think this is a case where the title and pictures could have been better and the seller didn't really highlight the best cards. There's some decent bang for your buck in this one. Highlights include a 2008 Topps Chrome Bronze Refractor out of $5.99, a 2010 Topps Chrome Purple Refractor out of $5.99, two other orange refractors from 2011 and 12, a 2012 Topps Chrome X-Fractor and 2013 Topps X-Fractor, plus a relic and a bunch of mid-career inserts for a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not bad for basically what amounts to the cost of a Topps Heritage blaster box at Walmart. This was sent by Matthew. Here's a regular roller submission from a visit to my local card store back in July. I occasionally go through the bargain bin there, and on this particular visit, I bought a bunch of cards that were 25 cents each. Most of them belonged in the quarter boxes, and there were a few where cards would normally find more like in dollar bins, like a 90 Topps Frank Thomas rookie. But then I came across this Orlando Hernandez card from 1994, years before he defected from Cuba. Growing up as a Yankee fan in the late 90s, El Duque was my favorite starting pitcher on my favorite team for several years. I don't know anything about it, but I was excited to add it to my PC for a quarter, and I figured it was worth probably $5 or more. I was off by a few zeros. As it turns out, this is quite rare. Despite being found in top loader without a penny sleeve, mine was pretty good shape. I sent it to PSA expecting an 8, but hoping for a 9, and I got the 9. PSA just released the grade today, and it is a pop 6, probably 7 now since this is freshly graded, with only one copy higher, and it looks to be about a $500 card. Every now and then I make an amazing bargain bin find. Incredibly, this is probably my second best find to date. The card is a 1994 Garcia Photo Serie Selectiva number 51, El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, PSA 9. Next one is one of mine. I was the seller here, and I might have mentioned this already, but I bought a bunch of these over the last few years, sort of in anticipation of Todd Helton making the Hall of Fame. He's sort of a borderline case who looked to be tracking to make it. And this is his one and only sort of recognized rookie, not exactly, but his most common recognized rookie, 1983 Topps traded Todd Helton, and I bought a bunch of them in PSA 10, sort of, planning to sell them right around the Hall of Fame announcement. And now, as I record this, it's 2 days before the Hall of Fame announcement. But I am expecting him to get in. So I did start selling these or trickling them out leading up to the Hall of Fame, and sort of hoping for a bump then, or if not, then right after he gets elected. Though I'm expecting a bump. This one sold for $110.40 on PWCC. I was buying these mostly for around 80 to 100, so really didn't make anything here. Hoping for the bump, in a couple days, assuming he gets elected, which again I think he probably will, or almost for surely will. This one was sent in by a longtime collector, and it's sort of a correction to an earlier regular rollers item. He wrote, you mentioned this lot of 22 Mickey Mantle cards that was listed on eBay recently in your regular rollers YouTube video on January 10th. You said you had your suspicions about the lot. I just wanted to update you that I purchased the cards, and they are all indeed authentic. Some are very nice and some have problems, but they are all real. I've collected cards for almost 50 years and can easily spot fake cards. If you want to put an update in your next regular rollers video, feel free. Congrats. I'm very glad to hear that this worked out for you. And it sounds like your experience really helped. But it doesn't really change my opinion on lots like this in general, unless you're sort of very experienced, which it sounds like you are, or you're dealing with a very, very trusted seller. I would generally avoid lots like this, high dollar raw vintage cards. There's just too many things that can go wrong, and while sometimes it will work out nicely, I think more times than not it will not work out nicely, and the lot will include a bunch of fakes or reprints or heavily damaged cards that the pictures don't pick up. Next one was sent by Adam, who wrote, I PC Tim Duncan, aka the Big Fundamental. I think he's very undervalued, and I like his 90s and early 2000s inserts. Picked up this 2003 Ultra Platinum in an SGC 9.5 for what I thought was a bargain. In a PSA 10, it's a pop 1 with only 2 8s, but in SGC, it's a pop 1 with none higher, and I do not think the pop report is going up because it's LeBron's rookie year, so wax is astronomical. His rookie year of 97-98 is prime junk wax, and although his base rookies are reasonably priced, the inserts are very steep. Ultra Platinum Medallion, Skybox Rubies, and PMG Reds are all 5-figure cards. My guess is the PMG green goes to auction, would sell for 7 figures. Since I'm never going to lay out that kind of money, I thought this was a real steal that is going directly to my PC. Oh yeah, very cool card. 2003 Fleer Ultra Platinum Medallion, Tim Duncan, serial numbered out of 100, so a very rare insert now, that 20 plus years old. SGC 9.5, yeah, fantastic PC card for a Tim Duncan fan. Next one is sent by Nate the Great, who wrote, I love these red hearts, but they are usually a little more than I like to pay. I couldn't pass this one up, though. Super low grade and definitely fits the run over by a truck category, but for under $15 all in, I felt good about the purchase. Yeah, I love this stuff. Oddball, vintage, 1954 Red Heart, Enos Slaughter. This is a Hall of Famer. Enos Slaughter is a Hall of Famer. And this is a very rare oddball card. Red Heart was a dog food company. I don't know how you got the cards. Maybe when you bought like a bag of dog food, you'd get a card. I'm not actually sure, but very rare. Yeah, you're right. This one's, pretty beat up, about as low grade as you can get. PSA 1MC. The MC stands for miscut. As you can see, it's especially on the back, it's like sort of pretty, more than off-centered. But yeah, $15. I mean, this is what I would call a vintage bargain here. $15, Hall of Famer, 70-year-old card, pretty rare. Yeah, great collector piece here for the price. This one's sent by Evan, who wrote, as an avid Yankee fanatic, it's hard to collect nice cards due to the high demand in market. I've always had trouble finding higher-end autos and patches and normally just collect my own memorabilia through in-person autos, but I'm still always hunting for nice stuff to add to my collection. Recently, I was searching for some old Upper Deck and Fleer patches from the early 2000s, and I stumbled upon this amazing card. It's a 2005 Fleer patchworks of Hideki Matsui. It's out of 99. The card is great with an amazing patch showcasing the Yankee primary logo. It was listed at a steep price of $175, but luckily the seller had a best offer available. Every so often I'll shoot an offer I know will not get accepted, but sometimes you never know. I love the look of the card and knew it was authentic due to the non-ambiguous description on the back of the card, so I sent an offer of $45 with free shipping, thinking I would get auto declined or hit with much higher counteroffer, but when I saw the notification later on that it had been accepted, I was very happy. Now that I have the card on the way, I was excited to do some research. In this case, the patch embedded in the card must be a patch that contains the Yankee primary logo, and with a little research from the overwork department, you'll find that in 2003, the Yankees had a 100th anniversary patch that they wore for that season, and since this patch was displayed in the card is of the Japanese great who debuted in 2003, you can conclude that this 2005 Fleer Patchworks is indeed a game-used rookie patch of the later on 2009 World Series MVP and Yankee legend, Hideki Matsui. At $49 plus all in, I think this was a great addition to my Yankee collection. This was sent by Steven, who wrote, here you go. This unfortunately is from a reputable seller on eBay. Someone is going to way overpay for this card because I've seen St. Brown play phenomenally and not realize that it's just a sticker auto. Yeah, I did an entire video on this, and this is just a custom card. This is not a real card. Somebody made this, in their garage or whatever, and then they somehow got a sticker auto of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Perhaps it was on a different card, and they peeled the sticker off, or I don't know. I don't know how they got it, but they got the authentic autograph sticker, put it onto this card, sent it to PSA, and PSA has authenticated just the autograph, and you can see that here in the label. It says sticker. Authentic auto is for the autograph only, not the card. So, but it's clearly made to look like a National Treasures type 101 rookie patch auto NFL logo shield, which would be a big money card. Now this sold for $760 in auction, so clearly people were confused by this. It does say custom card in the title. This is Probstein, one of the the biggest sellers on all of eBay. It says custom in the title, but there's also words that are misleading. I mean, rookie card, it's clearly not a rookie card. 1 of 1, I mean, I guess technically it's a 1 of 1, but whoever made the card, clearly avoided things like the team name and team logos, I assume for copyright laws, but they have the NFL logo shield. That can't possibly be legal. So, to me, this is probably an illegal card, and, it's misleading, obviously. Whoever made it was clearly trying to mislead, and, the seller here did not do a good job being clear. And to me, the main culprit, though, of all is eBay. eBay should just not allow this, or if you're going to sell a card like this, it has to be much more clear what's going on. That would sort of be my opinion. Another thing I noticed is that the eBay Authenticity Guarantee Program does not show up on this listing. I'm not sure why, because price-wise, it's clearly over the threshold, so I'm not sure what the reason is for that, or perhaps it just didn't show up on the listing, but yeah, not sure why that would be either. Next up is another one of mine. I was a seller here, and this was part of collecting these for fun, but also sort of doubling as a long-term investment. And during the early pandemic, I got the idea that, you know, first year cards of major pop stars and movie stars and historical figures might grow in value over time, and so I just bought a bunch of them because I was also finding them fun to collect. So this was just one example. 1974 Geo Bassett pop stars, Michael Jackson. I mean, 1974, that's, you know, way early in his career. I believe this is his very first appearance on any sort of card. I got this one graded, and it got a PSA near mint 7, and I was collecting a lot of these sort of cards and just sort of storing them because I enjoyed them, but also I was sort of hoping they would go up in value in the long term. And then they did have a sort of boom right around the pandemic, but they also dropped just like most sports cards and sort of flattened out. And now, you know, 4 years later, I'm sort of over it, and well, I enjoyed them a lot, but, you know, for me it's time to sell them. And so, yeah, selling them little one by one. The Michael Jackson here I had listed for $105. It sold for I took a best offer of $75. You know, I was sort of, doesn't that seem like a good price? So 1974 for the buyer here. 1974. I had it listed for a long time, so it wasn't gonna, you know, fetch more than that at this point. But yeah, $75, Michael Jackson, you know, 1974, 50-year-old card, high grade, PSA 7, his very first appearance. I don't know, just seemed like that should be worth more, but, you know, time has not proven that correct, at least not yet. This one was sent in by Mike, who wrote, I bought this card auction PSA 9 for $37 for my PC. It's a pop 9 with 8 higher. I bid recently on a PSA 10 that I wanted for my PC that sold in December. I bid $300 on that because the previous sale, it was back in September for $160, so I bid $300 feeling comfortable that I would win it, but then I woke up to find out that I had lost it and it went for $305. I collect only Jose Canseco cards, and I've noticed that his Crusades, Metals, and Refractors, Skybox CX2000 type cards that are collected are going down in price big time, while these low pop, hard to grade junk wax era cards are selling for double or more than they have been recently. I've learned my lesson to stay awake and bid high. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, cards like this are very easy to find in quarter bins or dollar bins raw, but probably very hard to find in PSA 9s and 10s, as they're not graded a whole lot, and they're also probably fairly condition sensitive. So the pop count, like you mentioned, really low. $300 for this PSA 10. Wow. And given that, you know, $37 for the PSA 9 seems like a good price. And we'll finish on a vintage bargain. This was sent by Rick, who wrote, cool little piece I just added to the collection. I will take cards like this all day. $35 for a recently deceased Hall of Famer. Yes, please. Keep them coming. And yeah, totally agree. You know, fits the vintage bargain definition perfectly. 1969 Topps All-Star, Brooks Robinson. The card's autographed. It's graded PSA VG3. Very presentable 3. I mean, it looks nicer than a 3, at least from here. And a 10 for the auto. Very clean autograph. And Brooks Robinson recently passed away, so, you know, he did sign a lot, but he's obviously not going to be signing any more in the future. But all-time great here. I mean, you know, Brooks Robinson, top 5, maybe top 3 third baseman of all time. Certainly in the conversation for greatest defensive third baseman of all time. You know, won an MVPs, you know, won, you know, World Series. I mean, you know, all-time great Hall of Famer here. And you got his 50-year-old card autographed for $35 in very nice, presentable grade. I would say that's a great way to spend $35. But that's it for this week's regular rollers. Really appreciate all of you watching and submitting. And remember, whether you are high or regular, keep on rolling. Thanks, everyone.